Well, there are a lot of adjectives that people use to describe improv comedy. Hilarious, quick-witted, maybe a bit zany. Perhaps one of the last things that you'd expect to hear about an improv show is that it was touching. But that's exactly what the team behind Instant Modern Classic wants to own. The show is currently on a run at the Winnipeg Fringe Festival, starring Caity and Stephen Sim, whom you might know as the artistic director of the Winnipeg Improv Festival. Both join me now on Classic 107. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Maybe Caity, I'll start with you. This is quite a compelling title and quite a bold claim right off of the gate. What goes into choosing the title, Instant Modern Classic?
Yeah, good question. So you also have to choose your fringe show title sometimes before you even know what the fringe show is going to be. They want those titles months and months and months before we open. And we knew we wanted to do a theatrical improv show this year, so we looked to words and themes that are known in the theater already, and this idea of a play being a modern classic was compelling to us, so we went with that.
All right. That's that idea of it being a theatrical improv, Stephen, maybe runs maybe not in the face of what we might think of as typical improv, but it is certainly an angle that perhaps we don't always consider. Maybe you can walk us through what distinguishes theatrical improv from what people might expect from your more typical improv show.
Well, when people think of improv, usually they think of the words that you said right in your intro: zany, hilarious, quick, fast-paced, and but there is a form of improvisation that is the theatrical improvisation that takes more from the theater. I mean, we are doing theater when we're up there doing our thing, and yes, a lot of times it becomes comedy and it is funny, but while also being funny, it we can also have more theatrical moments. We can be touching. We can maybe improvise and maybe make you feel something, and maybe you'll be scared. Maybe you'll cry. Maybe you'll also laugh.
What are maybe as you're talking there, I'm wondering about there's obviously a very specific skill set when it comes to improv, regardless of whether it is meant to be touching or zany. Are there any sort of extra tools that you have to add to your tool belt when you're considering a theatrical improv, or is it like using a truck to drive on a dirt road versus just a truck driving on the highway?
Katie, I think that you should handle this one. You know a lot about trucks.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. Um, you know, good storytelling is good storytelling, and compelling relationships, compelling characters, whatever we're improvising, we're really using the same skills to set up the story. But whether we break tension with a laugh, or we break tension with a jump scare, or we break the tension with a dramatic reveal, that's the skill that we practice. But bringing the audience along with a story is really similar, very similar skills, no matter what genre of storytelling we're doing.
Okay. Caity, another element that is maybe not unique, but maybe less common in improv is the idea of having a director, which is a role that you hold for Instant Modern Classic. What goes into directing a show like this, and what sorts of things are you offering, or are you leading your fellow improvisers in as you take on this maybe not unique but less common improvisatory challenge?
Improvisatory, I like that. um yeah, we get the question all the time, well, it's improv, how do you practice? You can't rehearse it. And it's true, we can't rehearse the exact show that we're going to perform, but we do rehearse how to be good at improv. We work on the skills that we need as an ensemble to be able to listen, to know how to read each other, to make offers that are really clear. It's all about clear communication improvisation. So as a director, I look at the tone and the flavor of the show. I think about what tools we do or don't want to be using, and we work on those things. We have a whole roster of different types of exercises we might bring into a show, or editing techniques or things like that. So I'll tell the cast, hey, we're going to do this type of narration, but not this kind, or we're going to do these types of scenes, but not these types. And that starts to build what the show looks like.
As you build these reflexes as an ensemble in the lead up to Instant Modern Classics, Stephen, maybe you can tell us a bit, as an ensemble member, you're receiving direction from Caity as you're going through all these things. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what kind of things you notice about yourself as an improviser as you are entering this kind of production versus something that you might find at, for instance, the Winnipeg Improv Festival.
All right. Okay. Well, I think that also Caity not only has a vision of the tone and the flavor of the direction of the show, but she also assembled an ensemble of players too that really fit together and have some of these interests and skill sets. So like the creation of the actual ensemble was also really an important step in it. And then just to answer your question of like, what about the way I play will be different? And looking at some of the, I guess not to get too technical into the improv things, but a theatrical improv show has less of a fast-paced editing style, which is a little bit more cinematic and using some cinematic tools. And using the theatrical tools of live theater, it does allow us to slow down and get right into these characters and get right into that story, and we get deeper into the scenes. So it really feels as an ensemble player that you are immersed in the story, and you are living in that story for the hour that the show runs. And you're not all over the place. You are right there and you're living in it. And I think that that's one of the differences that I feel.
Okay. We touched on this idea of assembling a cast that can handle this kind of, I'll say it again, improvisatory challenge. Caity, what goes into that sort of alchemy of building an ensemble like this to take on Instant Modern Classic?
Yeah, you're using great words.
You absolutely are.
Yeah. Well, we've been very fortunate to be able to travel as improvisers and to experience theaters all over the world and see all different styles of improvisation and different methods, different types of comedy and theater in improvisation. So one of my favorite theaters in the world is Unexpected Productions at Seattle, where some of our performers have come from. So I thought, this is kind of what I want to do. Who would be in my dream cast? And then I invited people, and everyone said yes. So that's the magic of the Winnipeg Fringe. Some of the people from America, from Seattle, had even heard of the Winnipeg Fringe, and it had been on their list to do for a long time because our Fringe has such a good reputation. So it was a perfect sort of moment of everything working.
That's incredible to hear. As we introduce new players, new people into this alchemic reaction, I'm going to keep using the nice words because you guys are so kind about them. Maybe Stephen, as somebody who runs or helps to run the Winnipeg Improv Festival, what happens when you introduce new players from different locales into this scene, this Winnipeg Fringe Festival that has such international renown?
That is always some of the magic that you're thinking about when you're putting together an improv festival. And Caity is the lead alchemist for the improv festival as well. I'll just mention that. New title.
It's all yours.
And assembling the ensemble. I think that's that's the key ingredient. It's almost like you're thinking of what players and what performers would fit together the best before you even get to that next step of, now what show would this configuration do? What is the chemical reaction from these ingredients? So I think that is those first steps.
Yeah. So audiences have now had a few cracks at seeing instant modern classic. How have you been noticing the audience respond to touching improv, Caity, over these last number of days?
Well, I would say that, I mean, the response has been great. We obviously love when people come up to us and gush about the show. Never stop doing that, audience. We really like it. But there are a lot of improvisers in the city right now within their first maybe 1, 2, 3 years of taking improv classes, and they've never seen a show like this before. So seeing, for those like new improv practitioners and technicians, to see their excitement and enthusiasm about the show has been one of my favorite parts. And Steven's been handbilling a lot, so maybe he had some other interesting feedback.
Oh, just exactly what you're saying is that this new generation of improvisers who are, a couple years in and getting an opportunity to see a different way that improv can be performed, and having their eyes open even wider, and that's exciting. And just audiences too that are maybe, oh, I'm more of a theater audience, improv's not really my thing, and have them go, oh, maybe improv is more than one little box that I can put it in. There are many different ways to improvise, and we're exploring that, and we're experimenting with what does this feel like, and what does this look like, and that's exciting. It's exciting to do new, and to kind of create a larger boundary for the art form.
Audiences can see this boundary expanding production, Instant Modern Classic, as part of the Winnipeg Fringe Festival. It runs at the Prairie Theatre Exchange, venue number 17. You can find out more information at our website, classic107.com, and the Classic 107 app. We will link you to all the information and to the place where you can get your tickets. Stephen, you've got a thing to add.
It's venue 16.
It's 16. Well, good thing that you caught that for our listeners here this morning. For that catch and for all of your insightful answers, Stephen and Caity, thank you so much for joining us here on Classic 107.
Thank you.
Thank you.